so those are the big three, if you will, but that second one's a big one for the folks that we work with that always are looking for, how do I maximize my or minimize my taxes and maximize my dollar, right? Okay, so Chad Taake, our guru out of Cincinnati right now, doing a lot of Procter and Gamble work with folks that are easing up to retirement, helping them through retirement, into retirement. Chad, there's just been some changes made to the profit sharing plan at P&G very recently. And we're recording this on June 3rd, 2024. So I know, as usual, in our office, you're like the first one to it. You say, okay, here's what's changed. Here's what people have to start thinking and do differently, if at all. So mind taking just a couple of minutes and run through what those changes mean to us?
Yeah, sure, Bob. So, the company mailed out its required annual disclosure on its employee-sponsored plans. And usually those are pretty boring documents, but this year there were maybe a couple surprises. Some good and some bad. So let's kind of dive right in. So the first thing is, great news for people that are looking to diversify. So historically speaking, you had to be 50 years old before you could reduce your P&G shares. The company's changing that. So now at age 45, you can actually diversify up to 60% of your profit sharing P&G shares. So this is really good news, because the more you have all your eggs in one basket, the more risk you're carrying.
Yeah, that's a positive.
Absolutely. So the one that was probably the less positive change is the company made the announcement that after this year, after the 2024 profit sharing contributions, the company has depleted their reserve of preferred shares. And so going forward, the company plans to only provide common shares to employees. And the reason why this can make a big difference in potentially people's planning for retirement is the preferred shares have been a great vehicle to use to take advantage of what's called net unrealized depreciation. And basically that's a fancy term, but allows us to do some kind of tax maneuvers that enable moving profit sharing funds into a taxable account, which can be great for people to pay off, their mortgage or bridge, the gap between age 55 and 59 and a half. And so for the younger employees, there'll probably be less preferred shares in their account than, over the last, 30 years or 30 to 40 years that employees have had.
Chad, so if I could just stop, so just to put it in my simple brain, if you're right on the edge of about to retire, it probably it doesn't really have an effect, because you already have a certain amount of preferred shares. But for somebody who may be still 10 years out, it just means the preferred shares they have remain, but they're not going to have any new ones added, right?
You got
so it's kind of wane over time, that effect. Yeah.
You got it exactly right. So, historically speaking, each year about 20 to 23% of your profit sharing has been given in preferred shares. So it's not a huge amount each year, but it does add up over time and can be, like I said, a great vehicle to pay off debts or, bridge that gap to bring some cash into the taxable account.
Yeah. So I would say that sort of the good news is that some people don't even realize that tax strategy is there. So for those folks, they're oblivious to it. But for a lot of the folks that work through someone like Stonehouse, I know you help, and other advisors on our team help people get those tax advantages and tax strategies and coordinate that. But you'll just have to get more creative as time goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other news happening?
No, there was a little bit of cleanup, so hopefully it doesn't really apply to people or too many people, because it's unfortunate when it does. But the company did change the guidelines to kind of go more in line with the IRS guidelines. So it's unfortunate circumstance, but if you would happen to have a terminal illness, the company no longer has a 10% penalty to withdraw funds from your profit sharing or savings plan. Also, if you happen to meet the criteria from a domestic violence, domestic abuse standpoint, there's also some flexibility there where you avoid the 10% penalty.
Yeah, so those are built in. P&G's building in some good flexibility for benefits that we hope no one ever has to use.
Exactly.
Yeah. So those are the big three, if you will, but that second one's a big one for the folks that we work with that always are looking for, how do I maximize my or minimize my taxes and maximize my dollar, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, hey, is there anything else, or do you want everybody? I mean, really, Chad, I mean, to be honest with you, I know you hate for me to brag on you, but that's okay. I'm the one talking. I have my finger on the record button. So I mean, really, the easiest thing to do is, anybody has any questions, they want to hear more about the NUA strategy now, I mean, just give you a call, right? Give you a call, drop you an email.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when it comes to diversification, we're happy to help people kind of think through, take a look, and really want to encourage those that are 45 to take advantage of those new rules. Those go in effect July 1st.
Yeah, but I always like when people ask, like, when's a good time for me to start thinking about talking to somebody like you? I say today.
Absolutely.
So
the longer we have time to kind of work a plan, the more likely that plan's going to come to reality. So, time is always your friend when it comes to investing, and time is a friend when you're working to build a good plan towards retirement.
And you're working out of Cincinnati. You're working at Cape a lot to meet with clients there, and you've really started to talk to other folks across the country at different plants through means like this, through video and over the computer. It's fantastic. So I like the flexibility the world brings us today, and you've been a great man. I have a lot of good things about you from clients. I love that feedback, and I'm going to shut up and let you get back to helping people.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, thank you.